So in this video, I'm going to show you how I got this new roof on our car. The old rotten roof gone, nice new shiny roof. So here's our Mini 1275 GT convertible. Well, convertible at the moment. I've just taken the old shitty, rusty, horrible roof off, and we'll be putting a new roof on it, or the donor roof. So keep watching and I'll show you how I got to this. Back with a little 1275 GT. Going to just strip the rest of it down, bag and tag everything, put it in boxes so I know exactly where everything goes. Get the body shell totally stripped on the rotisserie so as we can actually make a start on it. So I may just time lapse this to shorten it down so there won't be any talking. I might put some comments on afterwards, but just to make it quick, because it's no fun watching people just take stuff apart, I don't think. Or is it? I don't know. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'll just probably set this camera up somewhere so it can get a bit of it and let it rip, take a chip. So I'm just boxing everything up and putting it in little trays and stuff. Now this piece here, now someone's going to tell me it's not rare, but if you can find one, good luck. And the instrument cluster as well. Again, not rare according to some people, but I can't find one anywhere. So I'm taking extra special care of these parts because as far as I know, they're unobtainium. So there we go. They're going in a box all on their own so as they don't get damaged. But if I damage them, I'd just buy a new one, wouldn't I? Nah, probably not, because you can't get them. Anyway, it's all going on my little pallet. So everything will be all in one place, and I'll know everything's there. I won't be hunting around looking for stuff. Also, yesterday I ordered myself a ultrasonic cleaner. I think it's a 10 litre big bastard, pretty cheap, and I'm going to stick those carbs in there and see what they come out like. Give them a few turns in there, see if they come up all nice and clean again. Good bit of kit to have in your workshop, because when I do the nuts and bolts I can degrease them, then I can put them in there with some degreaser and hit them with the ultrasonic, and they should come up really well. And then it's just a bit of a wire brush, and then I can make up this kit where I'm going to plate them with zinc or whatever, just to make them look all pretty and new. Here's our headlining out of this car. Now, because the roof was rusty, it stained it all the way around the edges, but it's intact with no tears, so I might see if I'll pull the ribs out, and I should probably put that in soak somewhere and just leave it, just to see if it will come clean, because the back of it looks reet nasty like, but I reckon the good old soak, that might come out. I'll go and nick some of my missus' cleaning stuff, I don't know, Vanish or something like that. Anyway, but you can get them new. But I'd rather use the old stuff if I can, because everything else is good in it. All the ribs are good and the ends are on them. So yeah, that would be nice to keep the original headliner, because I know it actually fits as well. But I've just had a good old look on the Classic Mini website, and you can get absolutely tons and tons of stuff. So I even found an interior light for this, because I didn't know if you could still get those. Because the one on here has gone all horrible and yellow, so I want this to look like a new car again, so I may get bits like that as well. But yeah, it's good to know that you can get all these parts. Well worth a look if you've got a Classic Mini. Anyway, I'm going to get this pallet full up with bits. So some of these panels where they've been in the car for so long and it was wet, it's got very, very distorted, but it's actually in pretty fair condition. Once it's cleaned up, that'd be nice. This one's not too bad. It's actually pretty good shape, but it's still not perfectly flat. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a bit of the old soundproof in here. I'm going to wet that, and then I'm going to stick it on top of the worst one, which is this one, and I'm going to put some weight on it and see if it'll let it flatten out. I'll probably put a towel on this one or something because it's not as bad, but just put something damp on there, or even just spray it. I might just spray that with some water, and then pop these together. That'll go on there with a bit more water because it's very, very bent. And I've just got a bit of timber and I'll just lay it on top of there, see if it flattens it out again. Save me buying new ones, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think it might work. So I was going to get a spray bottle. Here we go. So I've got my sprayer. We use these for cleaning heat pumps, doing services. I should give it a nice misting. Probably a bit more of a misting, isn't it? But anyway, that'll do. And that one, and then we'll give this a bloody good soak. So leave it like this for a couple of days, probably, just see what it does, and then I'll pull out the wet bits and go on there like that, and I'll just chuck some wood on it like that, and that wood's not too heavy, but it should gradually pull that down. Anyway, and there's some other bits I want to try that on as well, some more cardboard bits, the inserts from the doors, so they're a bit bent and buggered as well, so I'm probably just going to spray those and then put some timber on and weight it down and flatten them out again like that. See how we go with that. So the previous owner had adapted this little fan into the inner wing. It did fit like nice, but it's really, really tatty. It's sort of been chopped and buggered around, and he's butchered the inner wing. So what I'm probably going to do is replace that inner wing, or even cut a part out of my donor car over there to put it back to original, because even, although that's a nice little fan, I think I'd rather have it original, so I shall put a plastic fan, belt driven fan back in there, just for originality really. And then the inner wing will look tidy again because it's all sort of chopped. It's been looks like it's been cut out with an axe, I think. So yeah, even though that's pretty good, I probably won't put it back on the car. You can buy that panel from Classic Mini Spares. I've seen that as well. So I've been hunting through their website just to see what I can and can't get, and you can get a lot of stuff. Apart from the clocks and stuff, because they're rare as rock and all shit. I'm sure someone will tell me they're not, but pretty sure they are. Anyway, slowly getting there. I reckon by the end of today, this will be totally stripped out. So I'm not going to leave the doors on for now, because I want to use that as a measuring point for when I put the new roof on it, to make sure it all goes back and it's all going to fit. So doors will stay on for now. I will take the glass out, trim off and all that sort of stuff, but doors will stay in, and I'll make them so they're still shut properly. I'm going to pull out the wiring loom next, I think, from the back, and get this dashboard out. Now the dashboard top is in remarkably good condition. They normally crack all over. This one's got one little crack in it, which I shall carve it out and fill it with epoxy, and then I shall recover this in vinyl again, because again, I think you can buy these, but they're silly money, and this is in such good condition, it'll go again. Same with the bottom of the dashboard panel. This one on here is it was in nice condition, but the end of it's kind of been pulled away, but I could save it, so I could foam it, fill it with epoxy, and then recover it. There is another one in the other car over there which is in good condition. It has got a crack in it again. Same thing, you can fix them. So I'll probably be fixing those. But yeah, keep keep pulling this little bugger apart, I think, and have another cup of tea. So pretty much one of the last things to do is get the seat belts out. Done that side, got this side to do. Then I'm going to clear the roof off. I've still got to get these little spats off because I don't want to damage those. There's still a little bit of carpet to come off, handbrake, gear lever gator and whatever, but the interior's pretty stripped, wiring loom's all out of it. More importantly, the wiring loom is out of the roof section because I'm going to cut that. Yeah, not far away from being able to weld in our bracing pieces. So I'm going to brace across the doors and then cross over so as it can't twist and whatever when I cut it. And then we'll mark this roof with some masking tape, mark round it all the way, cut it, and then I'll transpose that piece straight onto the other roof over there so I don't lose it, and mark that one, and I'll do that all the way around so we've got a nice accurate cutting point in it. So everybody's probably had this problem as well, but on the steering column retaining bolt clamp there, on one side of it is where the pedal box goes. Now there's a little yellow clip that sort of sandwiches the pedal box, and the pedal box has got like a bolt goes through the middle and it goes like that. Anyway, the bolts are security bolts, so the heads are gone. So I was unable to undo that, but I've got all the other bolts out on the pedal box. I had to knock it down and wiggle it and pulled it out. So I've got it clear. So what I will have to do though when I get the rest of this off is sacrifice this this clamp here. I have to just get the grinder on it, and then I'll probably better get some mole grips on these security bolts, pull those out, and you can buy new ones. So I'll put 2 new ones in, or just use 2 normal bolts because, yeah, you know, it's not going to be parked up on the side of the road, I should imagine. Anyway, they are a bit of a prick, but other than that, everything is pretty much out of it now. I might get a vacuum out, give it a quick vacuum, get there's all broken glass in there from years and years of probably windscreens it's had. There's chewed up foam from bleeding mice. What else we got in here? A few treasures, found some money. Always nice to find some money in a car. An old 10-cent piece. Yeah, but yeah, everything's oot pretty much, so I'll get the rest of this bloody stuff out, and I can then look at marking up the roof and see how I'm going to cut it, because I like doing big bits, you know. Big bits is probably better than little bits in my book. The sills need replacing. I can see all the way along they've got holes in on this side, so they'll be coming off. But the inner sills look really, really good. So anyway, so get the rest of the stuff out of the car. So I just pulled off this trim here. It's a bit rusty down at the bottom, so it's a dead one. But you can see there from factory they weren't even painted under there, so there's probably just primer on that, which is a bit, you know, it's probably why they rust. Anyway, that's the original underneath there. Look, nasty, isn't it? Hopefully we'll do a bit better than that when we paint it this time. So this is what I'm going to do to cut the roof, just to make it easy. I'm not going to cut it just yet, but I want to show you how I'm going to mark it up. So we're going to get some masking tape. We're going to follow the roof gutter around like that. I've already cleaned the paint a little bit with some thinners. What I want to do is make this so it fits right up under the gutter. So when I put it onto the other car, it's exactly the same. Now I'm just going to run a line around there. Reasonably squarish. And that's where I'm going to cut to. Right, I've just trimmed some of this and I've cut it with a knife. I'm going to add a little bit more onto this just to strengthen it up a little bit when I pull it off, but that is excess. And that'll be my line. Right, like that. Now I can get a marker pen, mark around there, and then I'll go and stick this on the other car. So I'm going to go and find myself a nice new marker pen that will mark good, and then I'll make sure I cut to the top of this line. On the other roof I'll cut to the bottom of the line when I do it. So better than a marker pen, I've got a paint pen. I'll just let that dry a little bit, and then I'll peel this off, and I'll go and clean the roof of the other car and put it straight on there, and it can stay there. I will draw a line just in case it peels off, but I'll put it on as I do each one. I shall just take it off and chuck it over there, so everyone is going to be exactly the same, and it should just go pop on. Right, so there's our line, and I've taken the other bit off, the masking tape off, and it's now on the other car. So I'm just going to go to the top of this line with this tape just to make sure that I cut in exactly the right place. Just makes it stick out a little bit better, if you know what I mean. Right there. And then just to double check, I'm going to now measure. I want to make sure that I remember that I'm cutting there on this one. Anyway, I'm just going to measure from there to there, from there to there, from there to there, and then check on the other car and make sure it's exactly the same. Right, so I've got my metal cut. It's just a couple of offcuts, just some old scrap box section. Got one going from the A to the B pillar, and I'm going to do that both sides, and then I'm going to do a cross piece between the two, so that should stop the car doing all this. And then we can cut the roof off. It's all marked up, all on each pillar, and it's been transferred over to the other shell over there. So I'm just going to weld these on. I'm not going to weld them, you know, it's only got to be tacked on. Don't have to be silly about it, do we? So I'll just get my welder fired up and put them on. That's that side. Now I'll go and do the other side. Right, so now that's all braced up in there, you can see all that metalwork. So when we cut this, it should stop the body springing and twisting. And then I can remove it once the top's on, but it's all pretty solid. So I'm now happy that when I get the angle grinder out, I can start cutting these. And then, as I said, I'm going to use my doors as a reference point. This door needs to go back. It's the gap at the back here is about, I don't know, 9mm, and the front it's only got about 3mm. The other side's nice, but this one needs to put some spaces in the hinges just to get the door gaps right. But the height's okay, so that's all good, which is the part I'm interested in at the moment. Right, so what I want to do is go inside the car and just cut the insides first and leave the outside so it's still holding on. Then I can do the outside nice and comfortably, and hopefully it will come off nice and nice. I could cut it really roughly and then cut to my line afterwards, but I might as well try and get it nice first time, so we'll see how we go. So I'll start over here, I think. That is nearly all the way through, don't you know? Anyway, I'll get the rest of them cut and then we'll get it out. Right, so they're all cut through and the car's stayed still, which is good. Roof just pinged a little bit, but everything else has stayed in the same place. So when I put this back on, I could, you know, if this was the other roof, just weld that back together. But this one's coming off. There you go. I might wait till I get some assistance just to lift it off, just so I don't do any damage. Not that it matters, because this roof is absolutely poked. So, but that's all free, and the car's nice and square still. I might close these doors. That's actually made that door better. Don't know what's going on with it. Oh no, it still needs to go back. Still needs to go back about 4 mil, I think, to make the gap nice. But anyway, she's good in a hood. Yeah, so the door's still shut nicely, so that means it ain't moved, which is good. So all I need to do is get this bugger thing off, and then I can go and do the other roof, and then put it in place, do a bit of fine fettling, make sure all the gaps are right, make sure all these gaps are right, and the window gaps right, etc., etc. And then new roof can go on, and then it can go on the rotisserie, and then it can go off to be sandblasted. I wanted to get it sandblasted with the new roof on it, because then they can do all the gutters, and I'm not paying twice, because you seem to pay a lot every time you go. So yeah, I'll get everything sort of done at once, subframes, as much as I can I shall take, and get it all done, and then I can just blast into it. Going to be cutting some panels off the other donor body as well, so I'm going to cut part of the boot floor out, because this is had a terrible patch in it. I'll have a look at the front wings on the other one. I think they're a lot better than the A panels, but then I might just price up new front wings and new A panels just to see if it's worth it. I know that the factory parts are going to be better than pattern parts, but yeah, we'll see. It does need new A panels, and part of the wings are buggered. I could just do repairs and blend it all in so you can't see it, but I'll see. I'll see. See as we go, won't we? Anyway. Roof's off, look. Look at that. It's all totally on and offable now. I forgot it's a Mini and I could do it myself, so I did. So there we go, roof off. Convertible, splendid. Right, so obviously the roof's off, but what I want to do is sleeve all of these pillars and then skin the back ones, just so when I weld through, it's increasing the strength. So what I've made is I've copied the profile of the one of the pillars. It's the A pillar, and that little bit there goes in there perfectly, like that. So that I'm going to punch some holes through there and just spot weld that in, and then do that the same on the pillars that side, this side, and then punch some holes in the roof as well, and then slip the roof on, and it should fit over these inserts. And it still gives me the hole in the middle for cables and stuff. So that's what I've got to do, is just make another 3 of these, and then a couple of strips for the back. And then I'll get the roof on it. I've got measurements of the screen aperture and the back screen and everything. I've still got the doors on, so I can get the gaps right there. But yeah, so it should go smoothly. I just need a hand to get the roof on. I've put it on my own because I am well impatient. But yeah, I took it off the other day with one of my workers. Put it on the floor over there. So I'm going to clean up all this, make these bits, pop some holes in, get the TIG welder out and TIG weld these on, and then we'll have a roof again. Once I've done that, I'm going to strip the doors down, take the doors off. I've got another set of doors over there, which I'm not sure which are the best doors, so I'll strip both out, and I might send them both away to get sandblasted, but I don't know yet. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. So I'm just going to clean up all these nasty tape off of here. Right, that's all that side done. Now do the other side. Yeah. Right, so I've got a little bit of steel. Now I've just marked up on here where my bends are going to go. So I'm going to have another triangle in there. So I'm just going to quickly go over to my folder and cut this and fold it up to go in this one. Then I'm just going to do the same with these other two on here. Get the bits to go in there. And then I can clean the corresponding parts of the roof up, pop my holes through, and then we can put the bloody roof on, eh? I think, anyway. So there's one of my little inserts right there. So that just pops in there like that. Nice snug fit. So say I'm going to go and get my little punch and we'll punch a couple of holes and see, well, let's just see if the punch will fit in there actually. It might not. So here's my little punch. It's actually a punch and a former in one. You can just twist it around like that and you can put a step in a bit of metal for doing patches and whatever. Can't remember when I got it, bloody ages ago. But that, if I open the door like that, just fits in there nice, and we get a couple of punches in there. A couple in there. And that should just be enough to hold that in place. And when I tick round it, we're obviously going to penetrate through that other piece of metal as well, give it a bit of strength. Might as well, while I've got this thing here, I could drill it, but you know, I've got this. I'm just going to do this all the way around quickly and make the other inserts up. I might, to do the spot welding, I might just use my MIG welder because it's sitting over there. Thickly there. Yeah, it's sitting over there, so I might as well use that. Because it's there, isn't it? But I will use the TIG to put this, to weld this on. It's going to get, well, hopefully it won't distort and get a nicer weld, can't I? Right, they're all punched. Again, I'll punch the roof section as well and get all that prepped up, but so these inserts don't fall down when I'm putting the bloody things in. It's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Right, so I'm just going to spot weld this first one on. I've just changed my wire to 0.6 because the 0.8 is probably a little bit too big for this. Although older cars have got much thicker steel than the modern cars, but you just don't have to have as much heat on it, which is better. So it won't fall through, will it? Which is nice. I wouldn't like these. Oh, just going to make these front ones, sorry, the B-pillars. So I'll quickly knock those up, get those in. Then I can prep the roof, which is over there and against the roller door. I don't know if the camera will follow me over it, might do. It's automatic, isn't it? Yeah. I just cleaned up this side and I can punch it, turn it over and do the other side. Anyway, I'm just going to make these other bits. So what I might do as I'm going along, I might try and do a time-lapse thing on here and just come back at the end before I put the roof on. So I'll see if I can do that. Right, so the roof is sort of in place. I've got to do a bit of fettling, a bit of measuring, clamping to get all these trims in line. But it's on there already. It's already strong even without any welds on it because I put those bits in. So it's very nice indeed, isn't it? Door looks good there. The gap's even. I've just got to obviously move the door back, as I keep saying. But yeah, everything's looking good, so I shall go in and do some measuring and get this all squared away exactly in the right place, and then I can start tacking it together. Which is very nice indeed. Big progress. So I'm going to get the tape measure and measure these gaps. I've written on the roof what they should be. So between the seam there and there should be 355. At the back it's 365. These are just measurements I took off the other car. Same that side. Front screen should be 415, 415 from there to there, edge to edge. And so on and so on. As soon as I've got that all right, I can clamp it all down and weld it up, which would be lovely. Hopefully I've got enough clamps. But I should just concentrate on one part at a time, just get this side all perfect, get the lines all right, get a straight edge across it, make sure it's all in line, pull it around a little bit, and then we'll be in a good place, I should imagine. Yeah, that's lovely, that is lovely. Anyway, I'm going to get some clamps on it and I'm going to have a cup of tea. Right, so I'm just going to start checking these measurements here. There's got to be 415, so it's got to go up just a fraction. About 1 millimetre up, that's got to go. So I'll see if I can manipulate it. I might loosen some of my clamps off, actually just have one on there while I'm doing it. Be a bit more of a chance, won't it? as I say, these measurements were off the donor, so and that is bang on 415. So according to my calculations, the screen would fit. So we'll clamp this one back up again. I might use that heavier clamp on the outside there. Funny thing is about these shells, what you notice when you pull them apart is that the pressings, when they were put together, are not exactly the same. So when I looked in that A-pillar on that side on the donor, it was stepped and I had to make a funny shape insert to go in it, whereas this one was perfectly aligned. So they're all slightly different, but you know, it's just one of those things I'm going to have to deal with. But everything is lined up as far as gaps are. Might just have to. So this one, the size of this is slightly different to that. So if I put my straightage on there, someone's stolen it. I don't know what I've done with it, but anyway, that is just a fraction. So I'm going to have to manipulate that when I weld that, just to take up. There's about 0.5 mm difference. So in fact, I might even be able to donk it with something. So I might give it a donkage, bigger hammer. That's better. That's much better. So just check my gap again. Four and 5. So I'm going to tack this one together, and I was going to get my TIG out, but I think I should just tack it all together with this and just see how I go with my MIG. It's you can get, you know, a pretty good finish with it. This shouldn't distort because it's all very, very small bits of metal. The back pillars, maybe that's got more chance of distorting, but again, with the TIG, if you just do a little kind of couple of bets and keep moving your nozzle from side to side, you don't get any distortion. Well, you shouldn't get any distortion, sometimes you do, but anyway, I'm going to get me welder going. And right, so that's all now set up in line pretty much, so I'm just going to give it a couple of little tacks. So that's all attached, so I'm going to have to fill in a little gap there. I'll make a little piece up, put it in there. So yeah, that's all in now. I've got to make a little piece up to there to weld in. Now, when I took the screen out of this one, the screen wouldn't fit. Now, I think that it must have had something done in the past, because I don't think that gap was the same as the other Mini. I think it was slightly smaller, which made the screen was bulging out at the top because the rubber wouldn't go in. So now, hopefully now, this has got the correct gap, which that gap there would say, you know, it would be the difference between the screen going in and out. So this is now the correct gap for the car that I was playing with over there that I cut the roof off. So hopefully we'll be better, innit? Right, our new roof. Look at that. Got to do a final bit of metal finishing on it, but I'll wait till it gets back from sandblasting for that, because I have to do a lot of metal finishing on it, I should imagine, but it's all on and all still nice and straight, so that's good. So now I can get this on the rotisserie properly. When it's on there, I can take it off of the lift and get doors off, all that sort of stuff. Finish off stripping it out completely, get the brake linings off and whatever. So I'll be able to flip it upside down on my rotisserie and do all that off, and it make it easy as pie. But there you go. I'll just walk you around and show you the joints in it. So here we go. There's our rear joints there. Have to just give a little tiny bit, shrunk a little tiny bit there, but I'll just batter that out with a hammer and a dolly. All the way round. And it's all got the right measurements according to what it came off the other car, so that's good. So there we go. Roof on.